most magnificent and the most merciful. Welcome to our webinar, A Roadmap Towards Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. This is Arisha Munawar from Mirpur University of Science and Technology and volunteer at Scholarly Society. I am thrilled to be your host for today's enlightening webinar. Today's webinar is being held by Scholarly Society. Our speaker for today's webinar is Mrs. Zoha Saqib. She is graduate from NUST Pakistan in Material and Metallurgy Engineering. She studied at leading European universities in Italy, Spain, and Poland. She is currently in Germany conducting research on 3D microgel-based cancer cell cultures as a part of Team Scholar Avenue. We are honored to have her today with us. Before embarking on the journey of knowledge, a moment for housekeeping. Kindly ensure your cameras are off and microphones are muted to minimize disruptions. In case of any queries, feel free to raise your hand and type the question in the chat box. Now, without any further delay, let's start the webinar. Over to you, Mrs. Zoha. You may proceed, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Alicia. I'm just going to share my screen and I would like to know if it's visible or not. Okay, is my screen visible now?
No, ma'am.
Not yet. Is it visible now?
Ji ab.
Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
yes.
So, well, thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to present. And I am Zoha, an Erasmus Mundus scholar. I started my Erasmus Mundus journey back in 2022, and I graduated in 2024. So, I'll just be giving you a brief introduction about what Erasmus is, and then we'll go through everything and like finally end on how we can win this scholarship. So, a brief introduction about me. As Arisha has already told, I am a materials engineer from NUST, Pakistan, and I did my Erasmus Mundus Masters in Bio and Pharmaceutical Material Science. Currently, I'm working as a research assistant in Germany. And along with that, I have been a co-founder of Scholars Avenue, which is a platform aimed at helping students like you to gain opportunities abroad, worldwide scholarships, internships, and everything. And since we got this opportunity, we believe that it's now our time to give back to you guys and to help you guys as well. So, this is a little bit about me. Moving on to what Erasmus Mundus is. So Erasmus Mundus is basically a fully funded scholarship by the European Union. So it's funded by the European Union and it is only for masters. It's not for bachelors, not for PhD, not for anything else. It's just for masters. It's a 2 years degree, but some programs are also for 1 year, but mostly the programs are for 2 years masters. And it's Erasmus Mundus or Erasmus basically is, known for having semesters in different countries. So in this degree, you are supposed to have at least two, semesters in at least two different countries. You may have more. You can have your semesters in 4 countries as well, but at least two different countries you're going to study. So like each semester you might be moving to a different country, or maybe in each year you're moving to a different country. And the mobility scheme depends on the program that you're applying for. So each program has a different mobility scheme, each program has a different pathway, and you can choose that. This scholarship covers everything from tuition fees, living allowance, health insurance, and a lot more. So you're basically completely covered from the day you're selected. When you apply for your visa, when you apply for like anything that you do, you're returned, you're reimbursed for that. Even your air tickets that you take or everything that you pay for, even if you have to pay things at the beginning, at the end of the day, they're going to return or reimburse everything to you. And one more thing about Erasmus Mundus is that the programs in it are very interdisciplinary. So you're not going to find a degree in, well, I'm not sure the people in the audience what are your degrees, but like you cannot find a degree in, for example, physics or, for example, material science or mechanical engineering, for example. You're going to find a degree which is, very interdisciplinary. There will be a program in which electrical engineer can also apply, and a mechanical engineer can also apply, and a civil engineer can also apply, for example. So the programs are also interdisciplinary, and the people that you'll be studying with will also be from different backgrounds. So You might have a class where there are people from chemistry background, physics background, and mathematics background. So it's a very interdisciplinary kind of degree, and you'll have to choose the programs accordingly. We'll move forward to that and how we have to choose the programs. So yeah, basically how to apply or how to find the programs. So this is actually the most important thing. As you can see, I have pasted a screenshot. This is how an Erasmus Mundus catalog should look like. You should go to this Erasmus Mundus catalog and you have to search your programs from here. You can put in the filters at like search according to the keywords. It's advisable not to search according to the country or anything else, just search according to the keywords. But it's even better if you go through each and every program and just see which program is relevant to your background. So you can find a program. For example, this is master's in sustainable transportation and electric power systems. So here you can have people from different backgrounds, like electrical engineers or civil engineers, or like different people. So you have to see according to each program if you're eligible for it or not. You have to go to the program and see. And then there are two links. The above one is the link to the official website, and the below, the HTTPS, that one mentioned, that's not the official website. That's just a description of the program. So when you're on the catalog, it should look like this. You can just go to the Google and search Erasmus Mundus catalog, and you should land to this page. Once you're here, you have to click the above link and go to the official website, and then search everything in detail. And for most applications, or for most Erasmus courses, you have to just apply on the official website. You're not supposed to go to the separate university websites or to apply there, or to reach out to professors separately, or you're not supposed to do any of that. The only thing that's needed is to apply directly on the portal that's given by the official website. That's it. And if there is any other application needed, it will be clearly mentioned on this website. So you just have to make sure you see all the requirements on the official website, right? You don't have to reach out to the professors or to apply to each of the universities separately. That's not your task, right? Now, coming on to who is eligible to basically apply. Well, there is no CGPA criteria. Anyone can apply. We've seen people from, with a CGPA of around 2.8, 2.9 getting Erasmus, and also people with like the highest CGPAs getting it. So there's no CGPA criteria. There are some programs, like just one or two maybe, which say that you have to have a CGPA above 3.5 to be eligible. But they're just one or two. But as you saw already, there are around 209 programs total. So basically there's no CGPA criteria, and you can find a program according to your own field. There are like numerous fields. You can literally find a field according to your background, and no CGPA is required specifically. It is open for everyone. It does not need any specific work experience. If even if you're in your final year and you don't have any work experience, you can apply. You can apply even after you have 3 to 4 years of experience. So there's no specific requirement. People who are recent graduates, who are in the final years, and who have graduated and worked as well, anyone can apply. No publications or research work is needed. Of course, if you have these things, if you have a work experience, or if you have publications, they're going to add to your profile. They're going to make it special, or they make it unique. But it's not necessary. You can apply without that. I did not have any publications when I applied, and I got into it. So there's literally no publication needed, no work experience needed, nothing is needed. It's just how you present your case, how you present your motivation, and how you show you're perfect for the program. So these are the basic documents that we'll need. We'll go through each and every one of them. Since I'm working with Scholars Avenue, I told you before, here's a sample that we have already on our website. That's just how you should have your letter of motivation. But again, you should not go to any samples. It's just to have an overview of what a letter of motivation should look like. But you should try to write your own letter of motivation in your own way, not looking at any samples, or being strict to any one specific way or a template or anything, right? Make sure that it's very technical. Make sure that it's you're starting with something very concrete. You're starting with something that that is making sense, that making them feel that yeah, you are interested in pursuing this field at a higher level, at a higher education. So the depths of the field. It's not like I had a childhood passion in this or that. It should be something very concrete. This field, this thing, this area of it, this very specific about it. And Make sure to write a proper story. Don't use AI. I mean, I know at this point people are using AI and it's fine at some point, but the thing is, you should first write your own story. Once you have your own story written, you can use AI to just, paraphrase it, to refine the wording. That's it. Other than that, you're not supposed to uh, use ChatGPT to create your own story, right? You have to write your own story yourself. I can see there are questions of people. We are going to take all of your questions at the end. So please keep your questions. Okay, so after letter of motivation, we have a CV. A CV is normally needed in Europass format. Okay, so this is a general overview of how a CV should look like. And for most programs, Europass format is accepted, but there are some programs, very few one of them, which have their own templates given, and they want you to, make your CV in those templates. So make sure to read and go through the requirements of the program and to see clearly that if they're asking for a template that they've given themselves, or if they want a Europass CV. There will be only two options, either a Europass CV or a template by them. You're not going to use any other templates, any Word template or anything else available online. And Europass CV you can make through the official Europass website. You can just search it on Google and you can find and you can make it. And there are a few things which we can see. There's no need to enter your entire home address, no need to enter a lot of other random details. You should have your LinkedIn, you should have your home address, like the city and the postal code and the country. That's enough. And other than that, you should link your LinkedIn. If you have a portfolio, you should attach that. A portfolio does add a lot of value. Other than that, you can have like, if your work experience is quite relevant to the program you're applying for, keep it on the top. If your education is more relevant to the program, you should keep it on top. And then you should apply to any, you can add any further education, any certifications you've taken, your research experiences, publications, conferences, everything, right? There's no need to add any references here because you're already going to attach the references in the form or on the application portal. So, and there's no limit of the length of the CV. It can be long. Again, you have to see the requirements on the page, but in most cases, there's no requirement of the length. There can be some specific programs where they mention the length, but in general, for Erasmus, there is no specific length of the CV. So it can be as long as you want, but again, try to make sure that the CV is covering the main relevant points, and also try to add points in terms of stats, like, if you worked on something, so it improved the results by 50%, for example. Or, just try to add numbers, try to show impact by numbers. If you were teaching somewhere, for example, so you can say, I taught 50 people. Or if you were doing a volunteer work, you were serving something, so the thing that you did was helping out around 10 families, right? So you have to add stats just to be sure that they know what kind of impact you've created in numbers. They love numbers, right? So make sure that you write it in that way. And you can mention other stuff, other irrelevant stuff as well, like even hobbies and interests or volunteering work, but make sure to add the relevant things at first and on top. And if your hobbies are anything that makes you, maybe unique, special, for example, you write a column in a newspaper, and that's nothing relevant to an engineering degree, but still, it is something that makes you unique. You can, write it. So if there is something that makes you unique, that makes you special, do mention it, but make sure not to just bombard it with useless information. Then we have letter of recommendations. Usually, letter of recommendations are written by teachers, but in Pakistan, mostly the teachers say that you can give us a draft and we can, just sign it. So, if you want to have, if you have to write your draft yourself, there's again a template available on our website. You can see the letter of recommendation should be one page. It should have a header. It should have the logo of the university. It should have an official signature and stamp and everything. The email of the professor mentioned should be official email. You're not going to use an email that is at gmail.com or something. You have to have the institute's email that the professor is giving you, right? That's important, because if you're going to give a personal email, they're not going to accept it, or like it's not as useful. So try to have an official email, official letterhead signed by them, and then make sure the letter is specific. It mentions which program they're recommending you for, and then it should mention if you did any projects under them, name the project, how you were in the project, if they taught you any courses, what courses were they, and it should be a bit specific so that the committee knows that, yeah, the person who's recommending you knows about you, right? Then there are a few more things. For example, there are two different ways of uploading a recommendation letter. Sometimes they'll ask you to do it yourself. For example, you'll just have a place on your portal where you can just upload the recommendation letter. And in some cases, you'll just have to you just have to fill in their email address and their name, and they will have to upload it themselves. So in that case, make sure your professors know that you have given their names, and make sure you just tell them and ask them to check their emails and to like upload it on time, right? So they don't miss it, because if your letter is not uploaded, your application won't be considered complete. um, and another thing, sometimes there's again a template for a reference letter that the Erasmus program has given. So you have to check the program and see if there is any specific template that they've given. And if there is some template, you have to share it with your professors and use that template, because that's also important, right? So what are the requirements? Whatever the requirements are for each program, you have to see them. And well, this is another thing which is a recent addition, we can say, to the Erasmus Mundus programs. That's a motivational video. So with AI, as you can see, there it's very easy to fabricate, and write a very good letter, write a very good motivation. So now they want to hear you. Now they want to see if you are the right person or not, and if you're hidden behind AI. So a motivation video is something that it depends on the program how long it is. It may be just 1 minute or 2 minutes, 3 minutes, depending on the program. And you should introduce yourself in it and then tell your motivation, but it should be very genuine. You should not be reading a script. Like, you should not again write a script with AI and then start reading it. You should give your motivation in a very genuine way, like talking to a person, like telling someone why you're interested in this program. Do mention things about the program that interest you. For example, which track you want to take and why you're interested in that track. Talk a bit about your background and then relate that to the program that you're applying for. So that's important. Once you're done with the motivational video, here are some other documents that you might need. In some cases, you need a certificate of residence that you can obtain from the union council in your area, and that should just state that you're living here since this day, and that's it. It's just a very small kind of letter. Then you need a language proficiency certificate. It's usually IELTS. Some programs accept a medium of instruction from your university as well, but again, it depends on the program, and it's better if you have a proper language proficiency certificate or an IELTS certificate, because of course it's a proper, clear indication that yes, you've obtained the right certification. Then some programs might need a class ranking, but it's like very rare. And then programs need the proof of your experiences, your internships, or whatever you've added in your CV. So if you have anything, try to add all of those things into the additional document sections provided, right? Other than that, there are no essential documents. Also, there's no application fee. So, like, anyone can apply, and you can apply to as many programs as you want. There's no limit. There was previously a limit of 3 programs, but now there's no limit. You can apply to as many programs as you want. But I would recommend that you should apply to at least 3 to 5 programs and not more, because you should focus more on the quality instead of the quantity. So, even if there's no application fee and you can apply to many programs, still try to focus on just 3 to 5 and not more than that. And yeah, there's one thing. For each Erasmus programs, they're only selecting a maximum of 2 or 3 people from one country. So even if your application is among the top applicants, among top 20 applicants, and they have 20 seats for Erasmus, they might not select you because they already have 2 people from Pakistan. So the thing is, even if you have a very amazing application, you might get rejected, or you might be in the waiting list of one program only because there many people have applied and they already have Pakistanis in the top. So that's why we recommend to apply to at least 3 to 5 programs so you have a good chance. Yeah. Okay. So here are a few points on how to win. The very first and the most important thing is to select the right program. Many people just like reduce the maximum of their chances at this point, because if you do this, it's like 50% of the game is just completed here. You have to select the right program. You have to make sure that the program that you're selecting is very relevant to your background and very relevant to your motivation. Then when you're making your documents, you have to be technical, not writing like childhood stories, and not just being very, if your childhood story or if there's something that's really a motivation and that has actually inspired your path, you can write it. It again depends, but it's not like I just had a passion to become a mechanical engineer when I was little. That's not a motivation, right? So make sure that the motivation is real and genuine. Try to reach out to the alumni through LinkedIn, because that's also one of very good ways to get to know about the program itself. Through this, you can know if the program is inclined towards people with high CGPAs, or if they're selecting people who have a high or a good research background. There's every selection committee is different, and they evaluate people on different criteria. So when you're going to reach out to people through LinkedIn, they're going to tell you what the selection committee is actually looking at, right? And this is a way to, even they can help you with your documents. Once you're done, once you've made your documents, you can even ask them to review it for you. And most of them, you will find most of them to be very helpful. They will help you out, and they'll try to guide you as much as they can. But one more thing, don't be too, don't irritate them a lot, and don't keep on asking them again and again, because that might make them upset with you. But just try to be very kind and just ask once or twice, and many people, many alumni will help you. In your documents, try to be yourself. Don't fabricate anything. Don't try to lie, because even if you get selected once, your lies will be exposed. So don't try to fabricate anything. Be yourself. Be true. Do not read someone else's documents, because that will eventually make your own ideas. That will, you won't be true. Then you'll just be trying to copy their stuff, and you will think, oh, maybe they've written this way, so I should have the same story so that I can get selected. But that's not the case. You have to be yourself. Then, if you finally get into the interview phase, that's another thing where you can actually win it. But the thing is, be prepared for the interview, and especially with this general questions, they're going to test your very basic concepts, very foundational concepts. Interviews usually start with just about your background, just asking about your introduction, and they'll maybe ask about the work you've mentioned in your CV and your motivation letter, what techniques you've done, any like for example, any equipment that you've used. They might ask about it, and then they might be asking some very technical questions about your specific field. So. They won't be like very specific from your syllabus, but they can be like foundational questions about physics or chemistry or whatever your field is. So you just need to have a good foundation in those subjects. Try to be a bit prepared for that. And interviews usually are like half an hour, not longer than that. Um, okay, and well, that was it about Erasmus. And if you need our help at Scholars Avenue, you can always reach out to us. You can use this QR code to, maybe you can take a screenshot and reach out to us. But I would recommend all of you to apply yourself, because I did myself and I got it, and many people in our team did it themselves and just got it. I would recommend every student to just apply themselves and not to rely on any consultancy, rely on anyone else, because if you are applying yourself, you know well what you're going into, right? So that's the most important thing. You know what you've done, you know what you've written, and that makes you different from others. So I would recommend not to go to any consultancy. Do yourself all the work, apply yourself. But again, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. If you need any help at any point, you can reach out to us. Even if you want your documents reviewed, you can just reach out to us as well. And yeah, I think we are open for questions. Arisha, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I think we can take questions now. Like if there's any question in the audience, we can take the questions now.
In the chat group, nobody have questions. Nobody is asking question.
I think
Is
some
that
people have raised their hands. You guys can raise your hands and we can ask the questions like that. Can we unmute people and see if they can ask?
the question is? I have done my BS agriculture. Now I want to do MS in plant breeding.
Okay, so you're trying to maybe switch your field a little, right?
Next is your application
Okay,
review
okay, let me
service.
answer the first question and then we can move on to the next one. Well, yes, you can switch your field a little bit if it's like towards a specific thing, but again, plant breeding is again very similar to your background in agriculture. You can go towards that field and you just need to see if such a program is available and you need to show your motivation using the semester projects or your FYP and every like all these projects and experiences, internships you've done. According to that, you can modify your interest and motivation towards that plant breeding side. Okay, Arisha, the next question.
Next question, your application review services is paid or free?
Okay, the services are paid because that's like an organization. But if you want, you can always reach out to people on LinkedIn, as I told you, and of course, that will be free. What I was telling was about the organization I am a part of. Any other questions?
No. Yes. Can we apply as a 25 session to student?
Well, that means that you are graduating in 2025, right? Yeah, of course,
Yes.
yes, you can apply. You can apply as, of course, you can. You can apply in your final year and you can apply once you graduate as well. Mariam, you can type your question, I think, in the chat box.
Is this webinar for only masters?
Yes, Erasmus Mundus is only for masters. So, yes. If you want to apply for a PhD, for example, you can always, apply for that's Marie Curie scholarship. That's also funded by the European Union.
Next question, can we apply with our final transcript if we don't have a degree?
Yes, you can apply. You can show a provisional certificate from your university, which will state that you will get your degree at this point, because you will need your degree before at the time of your visa and for the university enrollments. So you can take a provisional certificate saying when you will receive your degree from your university, and you can apply using that.
Next is, will CGPA matter as I have 3.6 CGPA, 3 publications and Erasmus funded? Is this all gonna be worth it?
Yes, of course, of course. Your publications, your work experience, and a good CGPA is definitely going to add value to your profile. And these are all the things that do matter and make your profile like stand out. But again, as I said, there's no threshold criteria. Even with a low CGPA, you can apply. But if you have a good CGPA and if you have publications, they're definitely going to add value to your profile and make your profile more, worth it and rank higher in their selection. Okay. Anyone else? If you guys have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then I think we can wind up if you don't have any questions. And Arisha, you guys can share my contact if anyone needs it. Yes, you can get the degree after your result is announced, and you can just ask your university for an urgent degree. You might have to pay for it to your university, but you can get your degree before the convocation, always. Dean, you have a question?
Yes. From which university you have done your bachelor's?
NUST. University does not really matter, actually. Like, I've seen people from many different universities and many different backgrounds in Erasmus, and university does not really matter. What matters is that how you present your profile, and also what matters is the awareness. The way you guys are doing this session, it's really, really a very nice thing, and I would really appreciate the entire team for doing it, because this is how you create awareness among the students. And if you do that, you're definitely, going to have more people from your university getting into Erasmus. It's just from NUST, we have, like in NUST, we have a lot of sessions, a lot of such webinars, and a lot of such, you know, many of our seniors have been to Erasmus just because of this kind of awareness. So such sessions are really helpful. Even if one or two people get selected from your university now, you guys are going to help your juniors too. So I would really appreciate the entire team for this effort. Any other questions? Okay, perfect. Then I think
Can
we should
we,
wind up, right?
ma'am,
Mm,
question? Can we write a motivational letter in a simple way like basic English?
yes, 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 of course, you have to write it in your own way, in a very simple way, in simple English. That's perfectly fine. But make sure that it's technical. It's not like written by a child. At least you should be writing according to your field. They should see that you're a master's applicant. You know enough about your field. Even if and you know what? The people who are in the selection committee, they are also not English speakers. They don't have very good English. So you're not going to use very fancy English words. If you're doing that, you're actually reducing your chances. You have to write it in a simple, basic English, which is understandable by everyone, but make sure it's technical, right? Because they are also from French or German or whatever, they have different backgrounds. So they don't also understand like very heavy English words. So you're not supposed to write a very fancy English.
Ma'am, next is can we apply during graduation?
Yes, of course, you can apply anytime, as I told in the presentation too. You can apply anytime, even in the final year and also after the graduation. Even after 2 to 3 or 5 years of graduation, you can apply. You can even apply for a second master's. If you have a master's already, you can apply for a second master's as well. So that's also a thing. I think there are no other questions. You can easily
Next is
find the steps of attestations on online. Like you just need IBCC attestation and then HEC attestation and then MOFA attestation. That's like very easy. You can find, like, you just search how to get IBCC attestation, HEC attestation, and then MOFA attestation. You can find everything, all those videos and stuff online. Okay, I think that's it, right?
um, thank you, ma'am. We are truly grateful for the guidance that you have provided regarding this scholarship. Thank you for taking out time for us out of your busy schedule. I'm also thankful to the societies involved in conducting today's webinar. With heartfelt gratitude, we draw the curtains on the two-day enlightening session. We eagerly anticipate the pleasure of your company in the future. Until we meet again, may you remain safe and well. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Thank you. Thank you, Arisha, and thank you everyone for having me and for this amazing session. And I hope you guys keep on having such sessions and more people, so you can just, enlighten the students in the same way. And best of luck. Thank you, everyone. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.